Well, they closed down the mill and they closed down the mine. They said you can't work but pay your taxes on time. Got 3 little babies gonna starve to death or freeze. We started making white lightning, it was Grandpa's recipe. Run, rebel, run to nowhere. Run, rebel, run to the Scott County Jail.
Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday night. Happy second day of May.
Second day of May. It's crazy.
And second week in a row, we're able to be back. Things have been a little bit busy here at the jail.
Mm-hmm.
We did take a little bit of a break during the month of April. If you watched last week, that was our first week back. We kind of talked about some really cool and exciting things that have been going on at the jail.
Yeah. It's, as Miranda said, it's been very busy, but we have a really great guest for tonight. We've been trying for a couple of weeks to get him on. Very excited to talk to him tonight. So we'll be talking about his jail. But a couple of things that we want to announce. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say we're going back to our series of talking about other jails. And so we're really excited about that.
Yep. If you follow the historic Rugby After Dark page, which we highly suggest that you do, we made a really cool announcement yesterday that the historic Rugby, the Village of Historic Rugby, was actually is going to be featured on Haunted Discoveries. So this was a fantastic filming process. You know, Haunted Discoveries, they did come and investigate here at the jail late last year, but they came to Rugby a few weeks ago, and it was just a phenomenal experience. They actually lodged at Rugby. They were there for 4 nights, 5 days, completely filmed all of the buildings there. Really amazing research into the history of Rugby. So they're going to be able to incorporate some really cool stories. So it was just a great process having them come and film at Rugby.
Yeah. And I think it maybe is going to take up a couple episodes.
Mm-hmm.
This is really cool. You know, if you followed, A&E's Ghost Hunters, Brandon and Mustafa, but Haunted Discoveries is just an amazing group.
Mm-hmm.
We really respect the way that they investigate. And from what I understand, they had some pretty cool experiences there.
Yeah, obviously we can't talk about that with no spoiler alerts, but they did have a great time. And what we really love about this group is they are so interested in the history. You know, the paranormal is obviously what they do and what they're out to try to capture and document. But the love of history that this crew and this cast has is just amazing. It's second to none. So, we had Dr. Harry Kalor, Craig Owens, Mustafa, Kevin Oddie, and Brandon Alvis. And, just to have them spend the time to go through the research of Rugby and then to film there for as long as they did and really take a vested interest in the history and the paranormal was actually pretty cool.
And we also, we want to welcome everyone that's watching from the historic Rugby After Dark page. They are, we started broadcasting live on there last week. And so we know a lot of you folks have gone over and followed that page. If you haven't already, there's some new and exciting things that's going on there. So we suggest you go follow the historic Rugby After Dark page and find out, because we'll be putting more information out whenever this episode gets ready to be released.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Rugby, we will be attending the Rugby British Fest that will be happening this Saturday and Sunday. So we will have a booth set up. They're expecting a large number of people. I think we're going to have a little bit of rain on Saturday, but otherwise the weekend is shaping up to be a great weekend. So if you're in the area of East Tennessee and you're looking for something to do, come out to the historic Village of Rugby. They're going to have local craftsmen and artisans and vendors. Like I said, we'll be there with our table, and just different displays and musicians from the area. So come on out if you're in the area, because it is going to be a really good time.
Yeah, and you can find out more about that on their webpage. They have a Facebook page set up for it specifically called the Historic Rugby British Festival. And it's got all the information about that. But it is going to run both Saturday and Sunday, I think from like 10 until 5.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be doing, I know on Saturday night, we're actually going to be doing ghost walks and stuff there and signing people up at the event. So if you want to learn about rugby and British culture, this is the time to do it, is to come to their British festival, because I guarantee you're going to want to come back and do their Irish road bowling and do a lot of different things that they've got going on there.
Like a lantern tour after dark.
That's right. Or a guided ghost hunt.
Or a guided ghost hunt.
Or a private paranormal investigation. Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yeah. So a couple other things. First off, I do want to thank everyone. I got some wonderful messages and well wishes and everything. Last Saturday actually was my birthday. And I know a lot of you folks sent messages and everything. I was a little bit late responding. As it's kind of noticed, I've been a little bit under the weather. I guess I partied a little too hard, but I've been a little under the weather. But thank you all so much for the wonderful birthday wishes, as the calls, the messages, the cards, everything. I was really, truly overwhelmed by everything, and I really appreciate your friendship. So thank you all for that. A couple other things I want to make sure to mention. So today, and I know you all have also kind of played a big part in this as well, but I wanted to pull up, bear with me one second as I pull this up. Over the past, I guess this is the third year now, we've been giving a scholarship in name of my dad. It was the Harold Young Memorial Scholarship. And we give that scholarship to a student from Scott High School who is going into the field of science. And so today I got to go with my mother to the awards banquet at Scott High School, and we presented this year's winner with a $1,000 scholarship. And it was to Miss Jessica Valadares, and she is going to major in the field of biology and then go on to pre-med and hopefully finish off being a surgeon. And so we were really, really impressed by her grades and by what she does as far as, her academic achievements that she had in school. And, there were several different things we measured this on. And so, and from what I'm understanding from the essay that she wrote, I think she may be a first generation college student. And so that was one of the things that was really important to my dad, was that students be given an opportunity. And so that's something that weighs into this as well. And so again, we were honored to give her this scholarship. And, I really just want to thank you all, because this scholarship is possible by the donations that you all have sent in. I know a lot of folks did that. And then the ones who participated in the dart run that we did last year. We have not set an event this year. Normally we would do a dart run, but we kind of wanted to change things up just a little bit. And so we're working on getting another event to raise money for next year's student. But we do take money for that all year long. This is an ongoing scholarship where we do different things. The dart run was primarily our way of raising money, but so we will be doing stuff just a little bit different this year. But again, congratulations to Miss Jessica Valadares, and we wish you good luck and are very proud of what you've done.
Yeah, so this memorial scholarship is a great cause. Scott County, it is a very distressed county. So all of the scholarships that these students, these graduates this year were able to get, the Harold Young Memorial Scholarship being one of them, it is very much needed. And I know it is appreciated by all the students here in the county that receive one. So, as Miranda said, we will have different things throughout the year where you can donate to that cause, and all of that money will go directly into the scholarship for these students. So
yeah,
thank you for everybody who donated to that.
Yeah. I mean, $1,000 when you're going on to, I think she's going to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, and, $1,000 is just a drop in the bucket for what these kids are going to have to spend whenever they go on to college. But we're really honored to be able to do that. So again, thank you all so much to everyone who's donated in the past.
Yep.
Another thing we want to make sure to mention before we get to tonight's guest is an event that's going to be coming up here very, very quickly. Surprisingly, how quick it's coming up on us. But on May 18th, the Paranormal Places meet and greet.
Yep, we will be in Franklin, Kentucky. We will be in a lineup with some great locations, some great individuals representing these locations. So I'll be speaking on historic Rugby. Miranda will be speaking on the historic Scott County Jail. But we have Bear from Octagon Hall. We've got Ronnie D from Old South Pitt and Harriman Hospital. We've got some other individuals who'll be speaking. This is put on by Elite Vixens Paranormal as well as Reflections of the Paranormal. So Vicki Norris and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's going to take place there at the Franklin Historical Society.
Yep.
And it's going to be at the Old Stone Jail, which I know a lot of you have probably investigated. If you've not investigated, I know you've heard of it. And us being quite fond of jails, we're really excited to be going there. But they're actually going to be doing a paranormal investigation that night after the meet and greet. So stick around, and you'll be able to come meet everyone, learn about some of these great places, and probably I would venture to say that a lot of folks will probably have where you can actually book an investigation of the locations there on site.
Yeah.
And then stick around for the investigation afterwards.
Yep. So May 18th, put that on your calendars. But we've kept our guests waiting long enough. So thank you for listening to us. But we're really excited about this gentleman who'll be coming on to speak about his jail in Jim Thorpe, PA. His name is Blaine. So please, everybody, please welcome Blaine to the Jailhouse podcast.
Hi,
Hey, Blaine.
Hi, thank
Great.
you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've been meaning to speak to you for a couple of weeks now. Our schedules just really haven't lined up. And we're so excited about learning more about your jail, because when I look at pictures of this location, I'm just really kind of blown away by the history, by the look of it. So first of all, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and Jim Thorpe, PA?
All right. So again, my name is Blaine Dart. I was born and raised in my hometown, which is Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania. Ever since I've been born, it's been a big tourist attraction. A lot of stuff to do here. Some of the biggest things here are shopping. We have a nice scenic train ride. It's about 35 minutes. There's a few other museums, a few mansions in the town. And then we have the Lehigh River that floats right next to our town. So we also have whitewater rafting, biking along the river as well. Bunch of stuff to do here. So if you're ever in the area of North Seats, Pennsylvania, not only are the Poconos a great place to visit, but Jim Thorpe is also one of the best places in Pennsylvania, in my opinion. But yeah, so my grandparents actually bought the jail that I manage now in 1995. So it was an active jail, built in 1871, open until 1995.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how did they come about buying it? Was it just sitting vacant and they made an offer on it, or what was the?
So pretty much it was the county jail from 1871 up until 1995. They built a new one in a few towns over. They had no use for this one. It was just a money pit. It cost too much to keep up and running. So my grandfather, who already restored a few buildings downtown, he actually read in the newspaper they're planning on tearing it down.
Oh,
so he said that they couldn't do that. There's too much history there. So he actually came in and toured the jail with 13 prisoners still left inside of the cell block.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, we got you.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yep, we can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's showing the.
Can you hear us now?
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
I can't
we
hear
can.
you. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something when it glitched
Should I leave and join
off.
back?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, gotta love technical issues. No worries. We'll get Blaine back here in just a minute, but we're gonna be showing pictures of this jail, and it is really super cool. So I'm actually wanting to go up to Jim Thorpe, PA. I want to go to all the jails that we highlight on the show, but this one looks really neat and really interesting. It's got a kind of a different feel to it. Almost looks like the jail that we highlighted in Australia. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Okay, you there? Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me? All right, perfect. So,
Yeah.
Sorry, my mom called me. Anyways,
I probably switched the speaker there.
Yeah. So it was, actually came in and toured with 13 prisoners still left inside. He went home to my grandma, My grandmother says, "Oh, you're buying it. It's not me. I don't want anything to do with it. It was old, run down. It probably smelled." And he said, "Well, I want to buy it." So we bought it with no intention on making a museum, no intention on making money off of it, anything like that. He bought it strictly to save it.
Wow.
Slowly, my grandmother, my grandfather started to fix it up. My grandmother became more fond of it. She's 92. She's 92 now, and she still doesn't stay out of it. She said she retired 5 years ago, but she still comes around all the
Oh,
time.
God bless her.
Yeah. So the jail's a 501c3, which is a nonprofit. So all the money we make pretty much goes right back into restoring the jail, which, trust me, it needs it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, just the history alone, I was reading on the website, is just fantastic. So can you tell us just a little bit about some of the interesting events that happened there and some of the most memorable ones that are listed on your website?
Do you mean like paranormal or like, well, during the jail's history?
No, just history
Yeah.
right now. We'll get into the paranormal a little bit.
Okay. So like I said, 1871, around this area was, where I'm from was a transportation town, but a few towns up were big coal mining towns. Northeast Pennsylvania was mostly known for coal mining back in the early 1870s. So during those times, those miners obviously weren't being treated very well. They went on to start the first union, went on first strike in, I forget the exact year, but they went on a strike. Nothing got better for them. They were on strike for about 6-7 months. Nothing got any better. They came back begging for their jobs. The owners gave them their jobs back, but took a 10% pay cut. So these men, pretty much after pay cut, they finally decided that if they were striking wasn't going to work, they had to try something else. So what they did is they started to pretty much murder people. They were known as a group of Molly Maguires.
Wow.
So the owner of the mines, he started to fear for his own life a bit, understandably. So he sent a spy down to those mines. Spy was down in the mines for a year to a year and a half. But a year to a year and a half later, he brought up a list of 20 names of who he thought was causing all of the trouble. Were they actually the people who were causing the trouble, or were they people who started the union? No one really knows. So were they hanged as murderers, or were they hanged as union starters? No one really knows. But those men went on to have a very unfair trial where eventually they were found guilty of murder and sentenced to be hanged. There were 7 sent to be hanged in the jail that I work at, the jail in Jim Thorpe. There was a few other jails in the area that also hung the other 13. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's the big thing. That's the big story we have. They also, on March 28th, 1878, right before one of the men was hanged, he put his hand on the wall, said it would remain there for eternity to shame the county who hung an innocent man. The guard and the warden kind of just laughed, think he was joking. They went on to hang him with 300 people in attendance, I might add, because back then it was public. It was a public event, so you could actually purchase tickets to come in and watch the hangings. So there's 300 in the cell block for his hanging, Thomas Fisher's hanging. But after he was pronounced dead, they went in, washed off the handprint, and pretty much just got ready for some new prisoners. However, both of those prisoners complained of the handprint kind of haunting them and giving them nightmares.
Wow.
So they went in, and they washed it off, thinking nothing of it, until it started coming back. It came back again and again and again. Every time it came back, every time they washed off, it always came back. Since then, it's been painted over, plastered over, tests have been done, but no one's ever found anything on it. The only thing that they find when they do tests is the white paint and plaster behind the handprint. Scientifically, it doesn't exist.
Wow, that is wild.
Yeah, so that's like our big thing. Like all of our clothes, our merchandise we sell, all has the handprint on it. So that's like our big thing.
Well, that's fantastic. Way to take advantage of that. But
yeah, right?
we actually have somebody in the chat room that said that they have a picture of that handprint.
Yeah.
Which is pretty wild.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've kind of gotten less strict about it, but my grandparents, when they first bought the building, there was only flash photography back in the 90s. So they didn't allow any pictures of it. They didn't know if the handprint has ever been exposed to flash photography or anything like that. So they didn't want to have hundreds of people taking flash pictures of it over and over again. So they made it no pictures, and they copyrighted the handprint. And we sell pictures in our gift shop. It's still like that today. A little more relaxed. Like if someone comes in, like doing a film session or something like that, I'll let them take a picture of it. But that's what we used to do.
That is wild. Now, the museum that your grandparents set up and that you still run, does it just highlight all of the local history, just true crime in general?
We don't go too much in the history of the town during our video or during our tour. We'll tell the history of the Molly Maguires, the men who were hanged in our cell block. But other than that, when you come and take a tour of our jail, it's pretty much just about the jail. There's a few other. There's a museum downtown called the Mock Chunk Museum that goes over the history of the town. Before Jim Thorpe was Jim Thorpe, it was Mock Chunk, Pennsylvania. I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys know who Jim Thorpe is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the athlete. So after he died, they were looking for a place to bury him. At that time, we were East Mock Chunk and West Mock Chunk. All right, the jail's on the other side of town, West Mock Chunk. I'm on the east side right now, but they were on the west side, and the agreement was that we came together as Jim Thorpe. We placed a memorial up for him, and then we could have his body and his name. So
Oh,
since
wow.
maybe 1870 or 1970s, excuse me, we've been Jim Thorpe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Mhm.
So, go ahead.
That's what I was going to say. So that's why it's the Mock Chunk Museum. So all the history of the town, like when it was a transportation town for the coal, we have the switchback, which was considered the first railroad in the country. The gravity railroad. The mules would take it up the mountain, the coal up the mountain, and then the gravity would pull it back down towards the river. So
Wow.
many presidents have been here in our town. They've actually rode the switchback or the first roller coaster, but that's what we were before Jim Thorpe. We were Mock Chunk.
Okay, gotcha. Now, the jail, I mean, it looks fantastic on the website. The pictures are really cool. But when I first saw it, I had no idea how big it actually was. So it says something you have like, I think, what, 72 rooms in that building?
72 rooms, 27 cells. The warden and his family did live in the building. So
Mhm.
they have their living room, their dining room. There's a master bedroom, a sitting room, and then also their children's bedroom as well as a bathroom. So they had a few rooms. He had a few offices. And there's also the dungeon, which the cells in the dungeon also do count towards that. There's 16 dungeon cells as well.
Oh, wow. So that was like that maximum security, essentially?
Yeah, so you wouldn't be sentenced down into the dungeon. Pretty much, if you were upstairs, maybe you started a fight, disrespected a guard, something like that, you'd be sent down to the dungeon. No lights, pretty much torture. You weren't tortured, but it was pitch black, dead silence for 2 days to 2 weeks. That was what you could be sentenced down there for.
Okay.
So did it house both men and women or just women inmates?
There is women's cells as well. They weren't initially built with the jail. They were added in the late 1960s. So there's 3 women's cells. And the weird part about the cells is that they actually connect directly to the warden's bathroom. So the only place they had available was this big closet the warden had next to his bathroom. So they put 3 cells down there, and that's where the women's cells were. The weirdest part about it's not actually the placement, but it's rather there's a female guard sitting in the warden's bathroom 24/7 watching the women prisoners.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's wild. Well, I mean, I guess if you need space, that's what you need to do, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Everyone always gets a kick out of that because there's a screen. It's like a little wooden screen door, and then that's all that connects directly to the bathroom. So it's pretty weird. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So how many did it house at one time, or was it maximum?
Maximum 120. Was the jail ever at 120? We don't have any records of like who stayed there, how long they stayed there, anything like that. So my best guess is it probably topped off around like 100 to 110.
Okay.
And the people that actually were hung, they hung them right there at the jail?
In the cell block. Yep. It wasn't outside in the parking lot or courtyard. It was in the cell block.
Wow. And how many recorded hangings do you have there?
There were 7 Molly Maguires, and then one other one. We don't do too much about him. As far as my grandparents have told me, he killed his landlady. Then went on to kill a cop, and then he was hanged in our jail. Not sure about the year or anything like that, but that was probably not too long after the Mollies were hanged.
Okay.
Okay. Now we've had issues with unsanctioned hangings and lynch mobs and such. Did you ever have any issues with that you found record of at your jail?
No, no on-record hangings. On record, I wouldn't say on record, but maybe unjust. Because as I said, the Molly Maguires, no one really knows if they were innocent or guilty. A few of them went on to be retried many, many years later, maybe 10, 15 years ago. And a few of them were found innocent. So wrongfully hanged, yes, not like unlegally. They were legally hanged, just not, I guess.
Gotcha.
Not guilty.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow. That's awful.
Yeah. So as far as paranormal, I know that's one of the questions that a lot of our folks watch are paranormal investigators or paranormal enthusiasts. Do you have any claims of any ghostly activity that takes place there?
Hundreds. Yeah. I will say it has died down a little bit. When I first started working there, I started giving tours when I was 10. So I guess 2013, 2012, there was a story every day. It slowly probably became like a crazy story, or maybe, I don't know. I'm there so often, I probably do hear stories. I probably just kind of tune them out, honestly. But there was like a crazy story like every day. back when I first started working. It's kind of tuned out to like I hear one, I'm like, wow, that's kind of wild. Maybe like once a week.
That's awesome. So what personally have you experienced that really made you kind of stand up and say, okay, something's going on here?
Weird enough, I've never had anything like too crazy happening, which I'm thankful for. Like I'm there every day. I don't want to. I like my job. I don't want to. I don't want to go in there scared. But the weirdest thing to me is probably just like I'm there a lot by myself, obviously doing work. We're closed, and I feel like I'm being watched. Really, that's about it. Just like you're always being, just you're not alone. And the most common feeling is in our second floor or our cell block we have 2 floors, so there's obviously like an open railing. It just feels like there's someone always up there. Like I'm walking through the cell block, just like leaning over the railing and watching me. And I feel like that's the most common thing. But,
oh wow!
But other than that, footsteps here every once in a while. I'll be doing something by myself, and I'll hear someone like walk behind me, up steps behind me, things like that. But nothing ever too crazy. And I don't know about you guys. Do you guys have ghosts as well or paranormal?
Oh, we do.
Yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but I talk to my ghosts. Like when I go in the morning, I'm like, hey guys, like leaving. I'm all right. See you tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
But I will say the most story that stands out to me could be a complete coincidence, could just be a ghost, who knows. But a few years ago, obviously it's an old building, so every once in a while a bat gets in there, a bird gets in there, something like that. And this bird that he got in a few years ago, he was there for like 2 or 3 days. And I walked in one night and I said, guys, look, I don't want to pick up a dead bird. I'm sure you guys don't want a bird to die in here. Can you please just help me get him out? So I opened the doors, and like 2 minutes later, the door flew right out the door. So he was in, like, I swear he was in there for 2 or 3 days. And as soon as I opened the door, he flew right out. So
yeah,
I mean, take it as you will, but I find that kind of weird.
Yeah, that's fantastic. No, we do the same thing. You know, when we've said it on our podcast, it's they're almost like a part of our team. So we go in, say good morning. You know, we leave cigarettes for them sometimes, a little bit of moonshine sometimes. Yeah, just kind of like, hey, we know you're here. This is your space. We're gonna leave this for you for tonight, and have at it.
That's cool. I thought of that.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Our ghosts definitely like to talk for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, good.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say because obviously we have day tours like you do, and we'll have people constantly come down from taking a tour of the jail and say, "Hey, you know, I heard somebody up there. I heard a whistling. I saw a shiny of that occurs during the day."
Never heard anything about whistling, but like whispers, like brushes of hair, little pushes, like pinches, stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. Mostly in the dungeons, the biggest hotspot for us. But I will say, and I had someone who claimed to be a medium. I mean, that happens all the time, but they claimed to be a medium, and they said there was something really weird going on with the kids' bedroom upstairs in the warden's quarters. And I'll say there's only 2 rooms I really don't like going into in my jail, and that's the kids' bedroom and the handprint room. I've only ever been in the handprint room a few times, and it's just like sweep the floor, change the light bulb, things like that. Every time you go in there, it's just a very weird feeling. But the kids' bedroom is just I don't know why, I'm not a big like energy guy, but has a very like dark energy. Like you go in there, you kind of feel like sad, like depressed a little bit, just like a heavy feeling. And that's like one of the weirdest things. So for someone to tell me that, I was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But that was the other day. But yeah, like not pushes, but whispers, pinches, like taps on the shoulder, things like that. A few times, kind of a crazy story is a lady was a few weeks ago, she was by herself, or she was with her husband, but she was by herself in the cell block. She thought her husband was behind her, and she was trying to look for the handprint. The handprint is kind of a weird spot. He was a pretty tall guy. We also believe he was standing on his bed, so it's a little high up on the wall. She says, geez, I just can't see this handprint. Like, where is it? And she heard a whisper who she thought was her husband. She goes, look above the bed to the right side, about 3 feet up. And she looked up, she goes, oh, thanks. And she turned around, she goes, thanks, honey. I turned around, and there was nobody there.
Oh, that is awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, but that's one of the really cool little stories that I have.
Have you ever left a voice recorder or anything in there during the night to see if you capture anything?
No, but I did not too long ago. I put a wireless or a motion sensor camera in there. I connected my phone, and as soon as I walked out the door, I swear I probably stole the video. So our front door, you walk through, and there's a gate right in front that leads kind of directed to the cell block. And as soon as I put the camera by the front door, I saw an orb fly through that gate, look at the camera kind of, and then just fly away. But I was like, as
That's
soon as I shut him off, like I got into my car and I got the notification. I was like, I was just in there. Like, what's going on? I opened it up and I saw that. So
that's awesome. It was
Oh,
enough to
that's
set
cool.
it off. That's
yeah, it was
fantastic.
like I didn't think. I was thinking about maybe putting one in the cell block and see what happens. But yeah, we'll see.
Now, have you, because our jail closed in 2008. So we have a lot of former inmates that come in, former deputies that come in that worked here that have actually told us different stories, both from the
Mhm.
historical standpoint as well as from the paranormal. Have you all had any of that where you've actually
Yeah,
talked to?
we've had past, or I mean, Jim Thorpe's a very small town, so it kind of seems like at some point everyone kind of worked in the jail. Like I'll hear story, oh yeah, I worked in there for a few years, things like that.
Yeah.
But past wardens' children have came back. People have actually lived in the building. A few inmates have came back. Not in a while, but we actually tell a story about a guy who escaped, and he actually came back and told us his story. So once we opened up for tours, he came in and he said, "If you give me your free tour, I'll tell you how I escaped this place."
Are
And
you serious?
his story is very wild. It's he got through about a 5-inch window. He starved himself for about 6 months. Then he just pushed his friends pushed him out the window, and he got out the window. And he wouldn't have. I don't believe he would have got caught if he would have done it at a normal time. But he actually did it at 12:30 in the afternoon. So yeah, he got seen while he was going out. They sent out a search party and found him about a few hours later. He got brought back, but he actually came in and told us the story.
All of that and stymied by your timing.
Right.
Yeah, everyone
That
always
is-
finds that very funny. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Now, is the jail kind of located in like a downtown area, or just by
It is
looking at the
considered
picture, it looks a little
downtown.
wooded?
Yeah. So if you're looking at that picture right there on our website, to the right of the jail. So if you're out the door to the left and walk downtown, we are kind of farther out the way than everything else, about 10-minute walk. But there is stuff along the way. More shops keep popping up. There's this year a new crepe place got added, and the museums, the Mock Chunk Museum's not too far, but everything's kind of like in a mile radius downtown. So
Okay.
Oh, that's
yeah,
fantastic.
so we're not too far away from downtown, but that's a little bit of a walk.
Now, talk a little bit about your tours. If somebody wants to, if they're traveling to the area and they want to take one of your tours, what do they need to do? What do you guys offer?
So right now it's just history tours, and I will say our website, I have to go back on and redo it because it is very confusing right now. But it's also kind of confusing to me because we've never been open this early. Normally we don't open until very late May for Memorial Day. That's just always what my grandparents have done. However, the town just keeps getting busier and busier, and there's people all over. So I was thinking at the end of March, we had a very warm March here, and I said, I'm just going to open. So I found a reservation thing. I put it on our website, and within the first like 2 hours, I booked out. And I was like, oh, this is busier than I expected. And I put another tour on, and they just keep booking up. So we've been open since the beginning of March right now, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just myself giving tours. Now that my guides are starting to get out of school, most of them are college and high school guides, we'll be open weekends full time. And after Memorial Day, we'll be open full time every day of the week except Wednesday. So normally, if you come after Memorial Day, we'll be open 12 till 4:30 with tours running every 15 to 20 minutes. And then again, closed Saturday, or not Saturdays, Wednesdays. And then Saturday and Sundays are the same thing, 12 till 4:30. And normally open from Memorial Day until Labor Day. After Labor Day, it's normally weekends only due to our guides going back to school. So then we're open Labor Day till the end of October. But like I said, we've been open since March, so who knows when we'll close this year or if we'll close it all. We'll see.
Now, are all your tours guided, or can people just go in and take a self-guided tour?
We do take guided tours. We do use guided tours only.
Gotcha.
Normally, as I said, check our website if you're going to come. That's what I would recommend, just to see when the guided tours are. It is like you said, you can see it's a pretty big building. And I found we did used to do guided tours when I first started, or non-guided tours, and people were walking around. It just caused more questions. So we found it easier we just found it easier to take you through, tell you everything, and then if you have questions afterwards, we'd be more than happy to answer them. But
how long is the guided tour?
The guided tour takes about 30 to 35 minutes, so it's not very long.
Okay.
Depends how big the group is, but weekends we do run a video, so it tells you the story of the Molly Maguires. It's about a 15-minute video. You'll start in the warden's living room, watch that video, and then your guy will take you through the jail. It kind of speeds everything up for us and helps us run our tours through it. It looks big on the outside, and it is a lot of rooms, but it is very tight quarters, so it makes it easier for us to take the tours around.
Yeah.
Understood.
And so you offer special tours for a Halloween?
We do ghost tours. Normally, they're the Saturdays of October, and it's not a haunted house. No one jumping out and scaring you, anything like that. It's pretty much just strictly ghost stories. So things that I've experienced, things that my grandparents have experienced, our guides and guests, like people who've came through, have told us. And the craziest ones we put on a tour and take you around and tell you them. So
Nice.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
yeah,
We
so
do
it's like,
something like that with our flashlight tours, and those are our most popular tours that we have.
Yeah.
We do them.
And for
Year
our ghost
round.
tours, normally we don't. Well, like I said, this is the first year doing reservations, but normally everything's first come, first serve. So we usually don't turn anyone away, but there's usually a line super far down, like probably an hour and a half wait for our ghost tours. So
Nice.
we'll see. Been talking to my mom and my dad about maybe doing them in September this year, try and spread them out a little bit, but we'll see.
So what is your staff like? So it's you and your mom and dad, your grandma and grandpa, and then just a couple of.
My dad just retired from his job. He worked with my aunt in a machine shop not too long ago. My grandparents, my grandma, like I said, she's still around here and there. My grandfather, he's 93, so he's still mentally he's still going, but physically he's kind of drifted off a little bit. That's the best way I can say it. But
yeah,
pretty much my mom has a store downtown as well, so she's pretty much there. Right now, it's just myself and my dad. He's kind of new, so pretty much just myself right now managing it. And then my guides, like I said, this is the first weekend coming up that we'll have guides back. So I've had the same group of guides for a few years now. They've all been with me for a while. They all know how to give tours, and I trust them all. So it's a very tight-knit group, but always looking for more people, I guess. So.
That is fantastic. Very cool.
Now, any desire to open up any paranormal investigations in the future there?
I could go on my email and scroll for about probably 2 or 3 hours through the people that want to come in. And we did used to do paranormal investigations before COVID. My grandparents still ran it. After COVID, again, they kind of got away from it. We didn't really know exactly how we wanted to do it, so we never got back into it. But the amount of requests I had, I do want to get back into it eventually. Mm-hmm. The biggest thing is, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I don't want someone coming in and provoking our ghosts or coming in and just... I'm going to do research on each person that comes in, make sure that they're coming in for the right reasons. And like right before COVID, you guys know who Jack Osborne is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He wanted to come in for this TV show, and at first I was pretty skeptical. And we watched a few episodes, and we figured maybe he is doing the right thing the right way. So he was supposed to come in, then COVID happened, and then he kind of fell through. So maybe we'll get him back. But yeah, there's been hundreds of different people that come in every day. It seems like someone has a paranormal group that they want to bring in, and I'm all for it. As soon as we get the paperwork drawn up and everything, I think we'll start again soon.
Yeah, and we can talk about with this offline with you if you ever wanted, but we're the same way. We're extremely protective of our jail. I mean, our waiver and our acknowledgement form, you cannot provoke, you cannot mention portals or demons or evil or anything like that. So, I mean, this is something we could definitely talk about with you further if you'd like. But
it's just something that I've just never. I'm not huge into the paranormal world. Obviously, I believe in it. I work in a haunted jail, but I'm not I don't feel a ton of stuff, so I've never gotten too huge into it. One of our guides, her name's Anya. She talks with the ghosts all the time. She tells me say one of the men who was hanged was John Donahue. He's like, John Donahue's not too happy with you today. You did that. I'm like, oh, jeez. But yeah. But then there's some mediums that come through and they're say stuff. I'm like, yeah, I definitely wouldn't let you take a paranormal investigation through or something like that. But there's been plenty. 90% of people ask, probably yes. But there's just that certain few that I don't want to come in and just mess with my ghosts, and I think they're happy right now, so we'll see.
No, you're absolutely right, and we're the same way, and we're in the buckle of the Bible Belt down here, so our town was very particular about what we could allow in here and all of that, so we're right there with you.
Yeah, it's definitely just something different, just something that we're still looking to just expand. Obviously my grandparents, they're very traditional. They've ran tours out of it since 1995 the same way. So even ghost tours starting for them was a little bit odd, and me changing stuff, they're like, oh, that's not the way I used to do it. I'm like, all right, well, this is the way that I want to do it. So they've been very, very traditional. So as I've started to take over, I have ideas. We've been talking about the escape room for a little bit, put an escape room in there. like I said, we usually close at the end of October. So normally the jails is pretty much empty from October until May. So I was thinking maybe like a Christmas time thing. We'll see. I definitely have ideas. So we'll just see what comes up.
Is it climate controlled?
It is, but it's expensive. It's also very big building. It's hard to keep cool and it's hard to keep warm. Right now, I'd say right now until the end of May or maybe mid-May is the only enjoyable time without it being climate controlled.
Yeah.
So in the summer, there's like 80 degrees in there every room we go in, but in the winter it's like 20 degrees every room we go in. So it's hit or miss. Like once it stays warm, it's warm, but once it gets cold, it stays cold.
Oh yeah.
That's ours. And we're a much smaller building, and we just tell people to just come on in and feel the history because it's crazy expensive to heat just our size building that we have.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's I mean, especially with everything going up, that's why I said when we first opened up, I was like, I can open up for I was like, I'm gonna open up for tours, and she goes, you're gonna open up for tours, but you can't turn the heat on the whole time. So I had to put on like a disclaimer that it's gonna be like 40 degrees in there, but we can't do anything about it. So
yeah,
and people don't really care.
Yeah.
You know,
I
is what we're finding.
I thought more people would care and kind of deter some people away. And I said on the website, if this is a problem for you, to please come back when we're actually open. So. Yeah.
I think more people, because we just recently, last year, we decided to close in January, and we decided this year to make it where we're closed, but we technically were actually open every day because we were open by appointment only. And we found that more people were upset when we were closed versus coming into a cold building, you know, and that the appointment only worked really well for us.
Yeah, like I said, normally like 300, 350 people would be a lot for a weekday or weekend, like a Saturday or Sunday. But I was doing 350 people like for Thursday through Sunday. So I was extremely happy. I mean, just to have anybody come through, I was happy. But now is getting to the time where tons of people are going to start coming. So we'll be open for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We have a question here from Bob Burnell. He says, is there a style this building is modeled after? He said it looks like their local armories there in the Northeast.
In the Northeast, as far as I know, there's a big architect family. It was the Haviland family. So Edward Haviland built our jail, but his father, John Haviland, actually built the Eastern State Penitentiary down in Philadelphia. So our jail actually models the Eastern State Penitentiary. So I wouldn't be surprised if that armory he's talking about was by the same person.
Wow.
Very nice.
That's awesome.
Great question, Bob.
Yeah.
And then Rochelle says, for the record, as a citizen investigator, the real ones do not mind being investigated themselves.
Yeah.
So, and that's a good point. Of a good investigator, they don't mind, because we ask for essentially kind of references of their pages and that sort of thing. A good investigator doesn't mind turning that information.
Exactly.
Over.
I figured most people wouldn't.
Yeah. All right. So last question. You're a 76ers fan?
I am a 76ers fan. Yes.
All right. Well, we know you got to kind of go and get ready for the game tonight.
I do. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. That's why I canceled last week. I went to my friend was like, I got cheap tickets. And I was like, oh God, I got to go. I'm sorry, but I got to go.
No worries. Absolutely not a problem. But Blaine, listen, we thank you so much for what you're doing for the building, what you're doing for the history of the town there, and giving us a little bit of insight into Jim Thorpe as well as your jail.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. If you guys want me to come back on again, maybe if I get a new story, I'll come back and tell you guys.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, keep us up to date on any new cool things you got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys as well. Maybe you guys send up some flyers, and I'll send some down, and we'll put them in our.
Yeah,
Sounds
that'd be
good.
great. Absolutely. All right, you have a great night and go 76ers.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right,
Good
bye.
night. Well, that was a lot of fun.
That was fun. So really thank you to Blaine for coming on and talking about his jail. But, I love it. I think the history behind it, just he was giving us a little bit more background on Jim Thorpe there before we started the podcast, and it just looks like an amazing place. They have fall foliage festivals where thousands of people go and go look at the foliage. They've got, like you said, the train ride, just a bunch of little shops and stuff. So I want to just go check out this place just to check out the
Yeah.
history.
I mean, just looking at some of the bed and breakfasts and just all the shopping and things to do in the area. I mean, that's what I like to do. I like to hit up a haunted place and historic place, and then somewhere that's just got a lot of cool things to check out in the town itself.
Mhm.
And this town looks like it's got some really cool things to share. I want to go in the fall.
I know. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Tennessee has some great foliage, but nothing like the Northeast.
Well, I wouldn't say nothing like the Northeast. I think we give them a run for their money, but but I think it'd definitely be fun to check out. So guys, definitely, we've got the links in the show notes to the old jail museum. We did pop that up on the screen. Their website, I know he said that they're working on the website there, but they've got some great information on it, great pictures and stuff about their tours. And then also, if you go and check out Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, their tourism page is very cool as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And if you go check them out, tell them that the Jailhouse Informant sent you, and just know that connection is actually really working.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can meet Obo Camus. She says that if we head up that way, that she can meet you.
All right, that's Cara. You know
yeah,
that. Right?
I know
Okay.
that's Cara.
All
Yeah.
right, thanks, Cara. No, we'd love to do that, Cara. That'd actually be really cool. It'd be a fun place to go for the weekend.
Yeah.
And kind of hang out.
I thought she was giving an invitation for everyone to
Let's go, everybody go
to
and
meet. Yeah.
yeah, we'll take a bus up there and talk to Blaine and meet Obo Camus.
But which you'll be glad you did, because Cara is really cool.
Yeah,
Be
Cara's
glad you
actually she's family.
So
we can give her a hard time.
But yeah, again, this has been so much fun getting back into this series, and I just want to double check my calendar here because I believe we're continuing the series next week with the Charlotte County Jail out of Canada, and they specifically booked this one months out. I think she booked this with us back in January, and she said we got to wait till it thaws out. So she specifically planned for May because she said it's going to thaw out, and I think she's going to be there at the jail. And so we're really, really excited about having her on. I love the international ones.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun for sure. We need to get some people from the UK.
Yeah. So if there's any of our UK friends on here watching,
recommend somebody. We'll reach out and get them on.
Yeah. And let's just see. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything here. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hello to Tracy. I'm glad you like the stuff there. Let's see. And
a 24-hour paintball tournament Ronnie played in Jim Thorpe. All right.
Okay. I
played in one paintball tournament, and I came back looking like I had been beaten by some big, huge guy. I had bruises everywhere. So my one and only paintball experience was awful.
My ex-husband used to play paintball, and he would always come back bruised and kind of like
silly.
that.
Yeah,
it's kind of nice. I like that
now. Rochelle, absolutely, Rochelle. We'd love to be a guest on your channel for sure.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a lot of fun. So let's get that set up.
Always. So we're still working on getting more guests coming up. So if you know of a local jail in your area, please reach out to us and let us know, or reach out to them and tell them about our show, and anything we can do. It's surprisingly been hard to get guests at jails this last little bit to come on. It was easy in the beginning, but it's been kind of a challenge because what I'm finding is a lot of these little jails, they're, at least the ones I've been reaching out to, have been closing. So
small staff, or just nobody will get back in touch with you.
Yeah, it's been kind of hard. So, but if you know anyone, please connect us, because we would love to be able to promote them and share their story, because maybe that will help them to be able to open a little bit more.
What we need to do is get a map of the places that we've spoken to. Just kind of, every time we pull them up, we'll add another little digital pin to our map. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I can create that.
I think you should.
Oh, sorry. sounding kind of aged there. Excuse me.
Anyway, all right, we're getting down into the road of giddiness now, but please remember that the British Festival is this weekend in the historic village of Rugby. If you are in town, we'd love to see you. Stop by, get some more information, and then the 18th, May 18th. Thank you to Elite Vixen and for Reflections of the Paranormal for setting this up. It's going to be a fun Paranormal Places meet and greet, meet some great people, come on out, just have some fun, fellowship with other paranormal investigators. So we'd love to see you out there.
Yeah, in Franklin, Kentucky, I mean, if you've never been there, it's the home of the Old Stone Jail and Octagon Hall and the fork in the road. I mean, there's the big giant fork that they have there. I mean,
like literally the fork in the road.
It is there. Yeah, you have to go see the fork in the road whenever you go to Franklin, Kentucky. And so a lot of and their historical society, it's probably one of the better museums of a historic society that I've ever been in. So it's worth it just coming up for that and meeting some of these folks who are doing great things for these paranormal locations. So and then if you've not liked Historic Rugby After Dark, go on there.
It really does help a lot. If you can like and follow those pages, it really does help a lot. It helps get the word out, and our events get seen and some other things get seen. So please go over and like that page. We'd really appreciate it. And if you've been here and haven't given us a Google review, we'd appreciate that too.
Yeah, we can post the link to that. Yes, that really helps get seen and stuff. We're getting into the tourist season now, and anything we can do to help get the word out.
That it's May.
Yeah. So I think that's it. I know we've had a lot of things going on.
We have
coming back from Florida.
Literally pulled in to the jail from Florida.
Yeah.
An hour ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So
oh, thanks for show. We appreciate that.
And we did post some pictures of some guided ghost hunts that we had. We've got the calendar up, and I think I've got the calendar open through the end of December. So if you are a paranormal enthusiast that maybe don't have a team, or maybe you've never done a ghost hunt before, you can come and you can ghost hunt the jail and also Historic Rugby. Those are 3 hours, and one of us will take you on as a guide. We'll bring our tools and we'll take you through the jail, and it is your investigation. We're essentially just here in case you have any questions and to essentially pack the equipment around, so,
paranormal pack horses.
Exactly. And so that is 3 hours. The cost is for 4 people. You do not have to have 4 people, but we have to have a minimum cost. So the cost is for 4 people, and we can accommodate up to 6. So get your best girlfriends, friends, or maybe people you don't even like and you just want to scare the crap out of them. Bring them on over here. Yeah. And, we'll set you up on a guided ghost hunt, but those are every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night based on availability. But that calendar is up on both the Historic Rugby After Dark website as well as the Historic Scott County Jail. So go on and book that, and we'll take you. And even if you are a seasoned investigator, but maybe you don't want to do a full-scale investigation, or you're a solo investigator like I am, you just want to do something a little bit shorter in time rather than that, you can definitely check out our guided ghost hunts.
Yeah, we have it all.
So yeah,
absolutely. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Be on the lookout for a very cool picture that's going to be posted on May the 4th, Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
It may or may not have something to do with a fat little fuzzball that lives here in the jail.
Yeah. Our poor cat.
She loves it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
And if you're looking for more paranormal content, Ghost Biker Garage is going to be at 9 p.m. tonight. Last week we were at 8, but we are back on regular time. And I have Sean Young, no relation, but I have Sean Young on the show tonight. He is the host of Beyond the Veil podcast, as well as I just drew a blank on his other podcast, but
he'll tell you tonight at 9.
Tune in tonight at 9 because he's doing some great things with his shows. So anyways, tune in and check it out. So
all right. Good night, everybody. Talk to you later.
Everyone.